since we did Pilates together here. Welcome. And if you don't have a small ball, something like this, a really nice substitute for that is a roll of toilet paper. So if you don't have a ball, go grab a roll of toilet paper. When we use the ball, you can put the toilet paper like this between the knees, and it works really well to get that same pressing effect. So we will not immediately, but eventually use that ball or roll of toilet paper. You should feel free, at least as we're beginning, to place a pillow behind your head if you like, or alternately a little towel roll, which would go behind the neck and help support your neutral cervical curve. So get yourself set up, and then we're going to begin lying down on the back with the knees bent. If your back feels very tight this morning and you need to bring your knees to the chest, feel free to take a little stretch before we get going. We're going to take a moment to settle down into this hook lying position, which we call constructive rest pose. So in the constructive rest pose, having the knees bent rather than legs out straight allows the spine to rest in its neutral position. You'll notice there's probably a little bit of space between your back and the floor. And also your pelvis is resting in neutral position. Neither flattened back or really arched lower back, but just a comfortable released position. Take a moment to notice your feet. Feel the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, the center of the heel. If you need to make some small adjustments in the way that your feet and legs are organized to find those 3 points, do that. You might find that that gives you a little bit of engagement in the inner thigh. If so, a little bit of engagement in the inner thigh is fine. We'll try to soften in the front of the hip crease. So once you've got your feet well against the floor, drop your attention down to the bottom of the spine. The sacrum, which is like a wedge, little triangle, the tip of which is your tailbone. And feel the weight distribution at the back of the pelvis as evenly as you can. Drop into gravity. Don't try to push yourself around, but drop into gravity and let yourself find this nice neutral alignment. Notice your breath coming in and out. A relaxed, natural breath flow. When the inhale comes in, it's a little expansion in the thorax and the belly. And when the breath goes out, even if you're not engaging your abdominals, your belly button drops down towards the floor and your ribs gently close in slightly. So let's watch the natural flow of the breath for a moment. Gentle expansion on inhale and soft release on exhale. And then notice your shoulder blades. It will help to open the upper back if you turn your palms up and take your arms a little bit wider than your mat. Kind of wiggle the shoulder blades wide and feel some space between them and see just how flat you can have them rest down against the floor. And then consciously relax the shoulders. So again, here we're not pushing the shoulders or trying to force them down, but allowing them to feel gravity's pull and drop down into it. Let that sense of release go all the way down through the arms to the hands. Be soft in the palms and the fingers. And then notice your neck. There's a little bit of a curve there. And again, if your neck doesn't feel comfortable, place a little pillow behind your head or roll up a towel behind the neck. Let's find a neutral neck position, which we are going to discern by swallowing. So first of all, find the point at the back of the head and be sure you're not turned to one side or the other. Let the back of the head drop into the floor. Relax your face and then swallow. And if the swallow goes down smoothly, then your neck is in a nice neutral position. If it feels constricted, you may need to tilt your chin up or back. Do a little work with your head position and see if you can find a place where the swallow is clear. Relax up into the jaw and the temple and release the space between the eyebrows. And then once again, be aware of the body resting down into gravity's pull. Let's work with the abdominal star. I'm going to picture a big asterisk resting on the front of the belly. Horizontal line from sternum to pubic bone. Vertical line from sternum to pubic bone. Horizontal line across your front low pelvis, across the hip points. And then diagonal lines reaching from one rib down to the opposite hip on each side. Now picture that asterisk. You'll see because the crossbar is low that the center is low. It's beneath your navel, so it's an off-centered asterisk. Picture that and inhale, picturing it. Then as you exhale, gently shrink the whole asterisk down towards its low center. While you're doing that, you're relaxing your shoulders. And then soften that effort. Let yourself give into gravity. Again, be aware for a moment of your feet, your sacrum, your shoulders, the back of the head. And then inhale, picturing the asterisk. And exhale, shrink it down to its low center. And then relax it with the inhale. And soften and give into gravity. Reminder for all you doers out there, this is called constructive rest pose. It is constructive to take a rest. One more time. Inhale, picture your asterisk. Exhale and shrink down to its low center. Now I'm going to keep shrinking the asterisk and take an inhale. It's going to feel different. And then re-shrink the asterisk with the exhale. And then relax. Let's take a moment to get the pelvic floor into the act. So the pelvic floor is like a sling of muscles, and it's anchored at your tailbone, your two sit bones, your pubic bone, which makes a diamond shape. And you're resting on the floor. The diamond shape is this way, with the tailbone being down. So the diamond shape standing on its tip. One tip towards the floor, one tip towards the ceiling, the other two tips out towards the sides. Picture that diamond with your inhale. And then as you exhale, gently shrink the diamond down to its center at the perineum, and then relax that while you inhale and give into gravity. We'll do that again. Inhale, picture the diamond of the pelvic floor, and exhale, shrink it towards its center. Relax while you inhale, and do nothing. Give into gravity as you exhale. Soften into constructive rest. One last time. Inhale, picture your diamond. Exhale, shrink the diamond. Now keep shrinking it while you take an inhale. And renew that effort as you exhale. Diamond shrinking towards its center. And then relax the effort and give into gravity. Now we're going to combine the diamond and the star. Inhale, prepare for the pelvic diamond. Exhale, shrink it down, and then add the shrinking of the asterisk of the abdominal star. Keep both of those elements engaged as you inhale. And renew as you exhale. And then relax. And do nothing, give into gravity. Let's take the small ball, or if you don't have that, your toilet paper roll, or you can use a little pillow or a folded up blanket. Something to hold the space between the knees that you can press against. To begin, we're not going to be squeezing the ball. We're just holding it to bring awareness into the legs as we do some arm lifts. We're going to use the pelvic floor and the abdominal star to anchor. The position of the pelvis and the back will not change. In other words, you're not going to flatten your back or arch your back. We're going to stabilize the neutral spine and pelvis. Hold the ball without squeezing it. Inhale, picture the diamond and the star. Exhale, shrink the pelvic diamond and the abdominal star. And then keep shrinking and inhale, float your arms up to vertical. Keep shrinking and reach your arms back towards the floor behind you, re-engaging both of those efforts. Inhale, float your arms up to vertical. And then as you exhale, lower the arms down. Once your arms are down, then you relax your effort, give into gravity. Let's add the squeezing of the ball. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, shrink the pelvic floor and the diamond, then gently squeeze the ball. Maintain your neutral spine. Inhale, float your arms up to vertical. Notice your pelvis as you reach back. It's going to stay still with your exhale. Star, diamond, and ball squeeze in place. Inhale, flip the arms to vertical. And then exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. Once the hands are down, relax completely. We're going to add a pelvic tilt to that. We haven't done the pelvic tilt, but when we do that, we're pulling the pubic bone towards the navel and flattening the back down. That will all be part of the setup. Inhale, prepare for the inner core, your diamond and your star. Exhale, shrink the diamond, gather the star, and squeeze the ball, and then tilt your pelvis so your back is flat. Maintain that, and inhale, float the arms up to vertical. Renew all of the work in the lower body as you exhale and reach back, keeping your spine flat against the floor, your ribs down towards the mat. Inhale, float your arms up to vertical, and then exhale, release the arms. We're still engaging in the low core, and then we'll relax. Relax the squeeze, let the spine go to neutral, and give into gravity. Okay, one more addition. We're going to add a head lift once we have completed the arm lift. And the head lift is going to be done with the back flat in this case. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, gather the diamond, the star, squeeze the ball, flatten the back. Maintain all of that as you inhale, arms to vertical. Renew the effort and reach back, still shrinking the pelvic floor and gathering the abdominal star and squeezing the ball, pressing the lower back down. Inhale, float the arms to vertical. Keep your back flat and exhale, lift up into a little head lift, hands coming outside the thighs. Inhale, head down, arms up. Keep your belly engaged. Reach back again with the flat back. You're still scooping the belly, squeezing the ball, engaging the low core and the pelvic floor. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale. Go into a little head lift, reaching the hands outside of the legs. And one last time. Inhale, head down, arms up. Keep engaging pelvic floor and star. Reach back with the arms. Squeeze the ball. Scoop the belly in. Back is flat against the floor. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, lift the head. Reach the hands outside of the thighs. And then inhale, head down, arms up. And then relax with your arms up in vertical. Relax your neutral, soften the squeeze of the ball. Take some nice, easy arm circles with your arms. And then reverse your circles. Again, we're holding the ball without squeezing it at this point. Spine is in neutral. We're going to lower the arms down to the sides. If you have a pillow behind your head, take it out. If you have the towel roll, you can keep that. We're going to do some pelvic lifts. And with the pillow, it's too much pull on the neck if you have your head up high. So pelvic lifting, and we're going to use all of the same elements that we just engaged. We're going to be rolling up to the spine. Inhale, prepare for the inner core. Engage the diamond, the star, squeeze the ball, tilt the pelvis to flatten the back, and then from there, raise your hips up towards the ceiling. You're squeezing on the ball, scooping the belly in, and roll back down. Keeping contact with the star and the pelvic diamond as best you can, and then release to neutral. Let's do that twice more. Exhale, engage pelvic floor, abdominal star, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the ball, and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling while squeezing. And then roll back down, go through the lower spine one vertebra at a time, scooping the belly button in. Keep the squeeze on the ball until you're all the way down. Release to neutral, and then relax the squeeze. And one last time. Re-engage inner core, pelvic floor, tilt the pelvis, squeeze the ball and lift. And then keep that squeeze going as you come down, rolling one vertebra at a time. And release into neutral. Okay, let's take the ball out for a moment. I'm going to place the hands so that your thumbs are on your ribs and your fingers are on your hip points, and do some alternate leg lifts. We're going to work with a neutral spine. Just feel this for a moment. If you tilt your pelvis, notice that the space between your fingers and your thumb is decreasing. You can go back to neutral. There's your neutral length, and we're going to make sure that that stays steady in relationship hip to hip and rib to hip. So gather your diamond and your star without flattening the back, without changing the distance between the fingers and the thumb. We're going to stabilize the pelvis and lift the right foot up. And flex your foot, extend out long, still maintaining the pelvis and spine. Bend your knee, you're still in your neutral spine. Pelvis nicely still as you lower the foot down. And then lift the left side up. Anchor the pelvic floor and the star engaged. Exhale, reach out through the heel. Bend the knee. And re-engage your core work as you lower the foot down to stabilize the pelvis. Let's go back to the right leg, lift. So no wobbling in the hips, reach out through your heel as you exhale. Bend your knee, re-engage the inner core and lower the foot down. Keep anchoring and take the left side up. Flex your foot and reach out through the heel. And bend the knee. Continue to stabilize the pelvis and the spine, lower down. Last time, slightly different variation, lift. Flex out through the heel, then bend the knee. We're going to keep the foot up and circle the ankle around, and reverse. And then pull your foot fully back into a flex, and reach out through the ball of the foot. So your toes are still pulled back, and then point your toes forward. Pull the toes back, and then pull your whole foot back. And reach out through the ball of the foot, point the toes, pull the toes back, and then flex the whole foot back one last time. Reach out through the ball of the foot, point the toes, flex the foot back, flex your whole foot back, and then squeeze your toes in tight and separate them as wide as you can. Squeeze and fan, squeeze, fan. Give your foot a little shake and relax. Re-engage your pelvic floor on your star. Lower your foot down. Your pelvis is stabilized, and we'll lift the left side up. Flex the foot, reach out through the heel, bend the knee. Stay there and circle the ankle around and reverse. And then pull your whole foot back and reach out through the ball of the foot, then point the toes, pull the toes back separately, and then flex the whole foot back. Reach out through the ball of the foot, point the toes, pull the toes back, and the whole foot back. Once again, reach out through the ball of the foot, point the toes, pull the toes back, pull the whole foot back and stay in your flex as you squeeze your toes and separate them out. Squeeze, fan, squeeze, and fan. Relax your foot. Re-engage the core. Lower the foot down. And then relax into neutral. Take a moment, finding that constructive rest, released into gravity. Then we'll bring the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, open the elbows out wide. Here again, it's fine to have a blanket behind your head if you want to put that back in. Notice how your ribs are really flaring out wide. When we shrink your star, we're going to really think about that rib cage closing down. So inhale, prepare attention to the pelvic floor first. Shrink the diamond of the pelvic floor, then the abdominal star. Keep your neutral spine and lift your head up. We're going to do the crazy fish. Stay here while you inhale and keep your breastbone facing the ceiling. Exhale, side bend to the left, left elbow to left waist. Inhale back into the center and exhale, side bend to the right. The breastbone's facing the ceiling the whole time. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to the center and exhale, side bend to the right. Once again, inhale, center. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, center. And exhale, side bend right. Inhale, center. Lower your head down. Release your arm. Actually, let's take the arms up towards the ceiling. Feel how that is a nice relaxed position for the shoulders. Your shoulders drop and the humeral heads drop into them. Let your arms just hang out there. And then gently press the back of the head into the mat and relax. And gently press and relax. So we're engaging the opposite muscles from the head lift muscles. Press. Relax. One more time. Press. And relax. And keep the arms floating up here. Gather the inner core. Feel your neutral spine and maintain it. Lift your right foot up with a steady pelvis and keep it up. And then lift the left foot up to join. So you've got a right angle at your knee and your hip. And then we're going to go to pistons. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Close the start on as you exhale. Inhale, lift the foot. Exhale, lower the other foot. And inhale, lift the foot. Good. Keep your star shrinking. Inhale, lift. And exhale, other side. Good. Exhale to reach down. The lower your foot goes, the more you need to engage the star. Make sure your back doesn't arch off the mat. When you start to feel it arching, then just don't go quite all the way down to the floor. Last one. Now we're going to bring one hand on each knee and hug the knees in for a moment. Let your lower back flatten. Relax your neck and shoulders. And we'll not rock the knees out away again. And float the arms up towards the ceiling. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And then without your hands, shrink your star, scoop your belly in and pull your knees in close to your chest without the hands. Now keep your knees close and draw a circle on the ceiling with the knees. As you do this, we want to make sure that your shoulders stay really still. The size of the circle that you're making with the lower body, all the movement below the waist, depends on how much stability you can get. If you're moving around in your shoulder girdle, make the circle smaller. Let's reverse. Keep your shoulders really still so you can see if your arms are moving around. If so, make the circles smaller. And then finish up with the knees hugged in close. Open your arms out nice and wide like a T. And then we're going to go to a twist, letting both knees drop over to the left side. Left hand on the right knee, stretch out through your right arm, and then relax into gravity's pull. Feel the breath coming in. And going out, pulling the belly to the spine, relaxing the shoulders. As you breathe in, expand your right rib cage. As you exhale, press the navel to the spine and relax the right shoulder. One more breath. We turn the left arm out to the T position. Squeeze your knees as close together as you can and bring the knees back up into the center. Recenter the head if you had a turn, and then bring both knees over to the right side. Right hand on left knee. Stretch your left arm out, turn and look to the left, and then pay attention to the breath. Inhaling, feel your chest and your left ribs open. Exhale, draw the navel into the spine and relax your left shoulder. Inhale, feel the thorax, left side expand. Exhale, belly button to the spine and soften the neck and the shoulders. One last time. And then open the right arm out to the side and keep your knees close together. Bring them back up to the center. Find your neutral tabletop with your feet as high as your knees. Neutral spine is in place. Regather the inner core. Find your pelvic floor, your diamond, and the star. And then lower your right foot down. Keep it down. Lower the left foot down and keep it down. And then lift the left foot up and keep it up. And lift the right foot up and keep it up. Going to the 100. I'm going to take the hands down at your sides. Press the palms down. Maintaining your neutral spine. Lift your head up. Feel your arms nice and active. Chin towards the chest. Eyes towards the thighs. If you want to, you can extend the legs out, but no strain in the back. And then exhale, pulse your arms 5 times. And inhale for 5 pulses. Exhale for 5. And inhale. So, Knees can be bent if the back feels any strain. Head can go down if you need to release the neck. If your back feels really vulnerable today, go ahead and use a flat back. Exhale for 5 pulses. Inhale for 5. Keep your eyes on your thighs. If your head starts to go back, that's a signal to put your head down for a moment. Exhale for 5. And inhale for 5. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Now we're going to bend the knees. Place one hand on each knee. Lower the head. Hug the knees in and gently turn your head from side to side. And settle your head into the center. Relax your shoulders. Consciously relax your legs. Give them a little bit of a wobble there and let your knees drop out wide. Now keep your legs relaxed and start to stir them around. If I weren't holding my hands, this is what would be happening. Just the legs dropped there. So the hands are doing the stirring, trying to relax the inner thighs, relax the front of the thighs. The action is of the arms stirring the legs, and then reverse. Then come back up to your neutral tabletop. Re-engage the pelvic floor and shrink the star. Lower the left foot down. Keep it down. Lower the right foot down. Keep it down and relax. And we'll once again look out of the pelvic floor and shrink the star and tilt the pelvis. Now keeping your pelvis tilted, I'm going to slide the left heel away. Your back is flat, your leg is long. Feel that length in the left front thigh. And then pull the right knee in towards the chest. Pull both hands over the top or the back of the knee, whichever works. And then notice that you can relax your abdominal work and your back will still stay flat. So relax into the stretch for a moment. Check out your left leg if it's flopping. Bring it into parallel. Now we're going to move out of the flat back into a neutral spine. Move your knee out away from your chest. Shrink your star. Find your core support. Extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Stabilize it. You can keep the hand on the leg if that's helpful, or bring your hands down to feel your pelvis and draw an infinity sign when slide in the ceiling. We're going to do 5 in each direction. As you're drawing the infinity sign, you want to make sure that your hips and your ribs stay nice and stable in relationship to each other. Pelvis should not be wobbling. If it is, go slower and smaller. And then re-engage and reverse. If you don't know, if you forgot which way you went, whatever way feels strange will be your reverse direction most likely. After 5 in the second direction, we're going to pull the right knee into the chest. Using your left hand on your right knee, put the right arm out to the side and pull your knee gently over towards the floor on the left for another stretch. You can moderate where you get the stretch by how far over your knee goes and how high up you put your right arm. Find the place where the stretch is most effective for you. It could be in the hip or the lower back or the shoulder or the neck. And release out of the stretch. Roll onto your back and pull the right knee back into the chest. Notice that your back has gone flat. Now re-engage the core. Keep your knee into the chest. Keep your back flat. Lower the right foot down onto the floor with the back flat. Now there's a lot of abdominal effort being put forth. And keep your back flat as you slide the left heel in. And then relax to neutral. And take a moment releasing all effort, giving into gravity. And then we'll shrink the diamond and the star and tilt the pelvis to flatten the back. And keep the back flat, slide the right heel away. Continue to keep your back flat and lift your left knee into your chest. So feel you're using your abdominals quite a bit. Back is flat, lengthen the front of the right front thigh. And now place your hands on or under your left knee. Pull the knee towards the breastbone. Notice then you can release the effort. Relax into the stretch for a moment. And now we'll relax the stretch, moving the knee out away from the chest a bit until you find your neutral spine. You're going to feel your tailbone right down on the mat. No flat back, a little space behind the back. And regather your core, shrink the diamond, gather the abdominal star, and keep your pelvis neutral and extend your left leg up. You can keep your hands in the back of the leg if you like, or feel where the pelvis is. Draw the infinity sign. Your goal is to keep your pelvis still, so go nice and slowly. Keep it in a range of motion where your pelvis is still. And then reverse. 5 times in the reverse direction. Keep stabilizing, stilling the pelvis. Then we're going to bend the left knee. And use the right hand on the knee to pull over to a twist. And again, you can pull more or less towards the floor, and you can stretch your left arm at more or less of an angle. Turn the head, feel where the stretch feels most effective to you, and then breathe in to the opening, wherever you're accentuating. Then we'll roll to the back and place your hands on your left leg again and pull towards the breastbone. Feel your back flat. Maintain your flat back. Lower your left foot down to the floor. You're still in your flat back. And then slide the right heel in with the back flat until the heel's all the way in. And then we release into neutral. Find your constructive rest pose and soften down. Okay, we're going to get onto the side and start working with some side kicks. We're going to start by lying on the left side. I'm going to use a blanket under my head. Helps with my neck and shoulders. So you can use something to support the head. If you don't prefer that, you can have your arm straight out so your ear is on your arm. Find a good position to support the sideline position. Once you're there, check in with your neck and shoulders and be sure they're relaxed. We want the feet slightly forward of the hips and the top hand on the top waist. Let's feel gravity for a moment. Relax down into the gravity. This is not the most relaxed position, but because you're kind of holding yourself up a little bit. But find yourself a nice position where the shoulders and the hips are stacked, and then soften in the belly, soften in the waist. I'd like you to think of your abdominal star and shrink it down. And when you do that, you're going to get a little bit of tone in the top waist. Then relax. I want you to compare that to an organ lift. Soften, let your belly go slack, your belly button drop towards the floor. Picture your internal organs dropping down. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift your organs up towards the ceiling. You should feel some nice tone coming into the waist. And now think of shrinking the star on top of that. Now you may or may not be able to do the next movement without support, but I'd like you to just Try it so you can feel the waist. As you exhale, lift both of the legs up. If you need some support, we're going to take the fingertips down on the mat in front of you. If you need less support, you're going to take your arm up towards the ceiling and lift and lower the bottom leg 10 times. And then squeeze those inner thighs together, point your toes and go forward and back with the legs, and then flex your feet and go forward and back with the legs. Point, and then flex, and point, and flex. One more set, point, and flex. Come into the center, bottom leg can go down if you like, and then we're going to circle the top leg 10 times. And reverse for 10. And then rest both legs down for a moment. I'm going to place the hand on the top hip and actually push your right hip a little bit into your palm. Keep it going forward and externally, shrink your star and externally rotate the top leg. So we're going to roll the leg into external rotation without rolling the hip back. Keep pushing your hand into your hip point into your hand. Leg is externally rotated. So you can keep your hand here and press, or if you need a little more support, put your fingertips down on the mat in front of you and roll towards it slightly. Staying in external rotation, point your foot and lift it up and flex and come down. Stay externally rotated, point and lift and flex and come down. Still external rotation. Point up, flex down. Point up, flex down. Keep that right hip point moving forward. Do it 5 more times. And then put the leg down and relax. Check your hip. If you fell back, bring it forward. Again, fingertips on the front floor and floor in front of you if you like. Relax everything for a moment. Lift your organs, shrink your star. Take the top leg up. Point your toes firmly and then internally rotate. So knee is turning towards the floor. Take your foot back slightly and just 1 or 2 inch movements. Dip the leg down towards the back in internal rotation 10 times. Not trying to touch the floor, trying to stay internally rotated, long across the front of the hip and the front of the ankle. When you're done with 10, bring the leg back into the center. Re-engage your star and your organ lift. Lift your bottom leg up and then flex your feet back and squeeze your toes. Point the feet and fan the toes and then flex back. Fingertips on the mat in front of you if you want. Squeeze, point, fan, and flex. Squeeze, point, fan, and flex. And then reverse it. Reach out with your toes wide and squeeze and come back. Open your toes, reach across the room like you're going to grab something and squeeze and pull it back in. One more time. And then reach your big toe forward and your 4 toes back and then reverse it. See if you can separate the big toe and the 4 toes. And then we're going to release. And re-engage your core, your star, and your organ lift. Keep your thighs right where they are and bend at the knees. Coming into 0 degree hip flexion. So your knees are straight down under your head or as close to that as your body will allow. You're going to keep that star engaged so you're lifting your waist. And then we're going to roll the leg out in the socket 10 times. Feel your ribs pulling together, the length down the front of the thighs. After 10, relax. And we're going to pull the knees straight forward so that the feet and the knees are at the front of the mat. Let everything relax for a moment. You could place the hand on that right hip point again and press into it. Re-engage your star and then in 90 degree hip flexion, 10 more clamshells. Externally rotating the leg, keeping the pelvis steady. You're done. 10. Relax. And then we're going to move to 45-degree hip flexion, moving your feet back just a little bit. So now you have your knees at the front of the mat and your feet down underneath you. We're in a hook line position on the side. Right hip point going forward, so fingertips on the mat if you're not sure if you're rolling forward enough, or press your hip point into your hand and then rotate 10 times. Pelvis still. Now we're going to keep this position and relax and bring the elbow onto the waist with the palm straight in front of you. If you have a little weight, 1 or 2 pounds, you can use it here. And then we're going to externally rotate. Keep your elbow against your waist and lift your palm towards the ceiling and then lower down. Just so the arm is straight. We're not going down to the floor. So we're coming up and down. Do that 8 more times. And then we're going to come up onto the side plank position. So as we begin, the knees are bent, left elbow's under the left shoulder, palm flat down. I'm going to take the top arm up towards the ceiling. Look up at it for a moment to open your chest and push into your bottom elbow, reaching down into the floor with your bottom elbow and up towards the ceiling with your top shoulder. Now, for some of you, this might be it. We're going to gather the core and then push into the elbow and the knee to lift up. And again, this might be a good enough position. Some of you are going to take your top leg up and then very slowly exhale the top arm down and inhale, open it up. So no strain in your neck or shoulder. Exhale to lower, inhale to lift. And if you haven't actually gotten your hips up, just push off the floor. Work where it's productive, not injurious in any way. One more time. Good. Pause for a moment. Push into the floor, reach towards the ceiling, look up, reach your foot and your head away from each other. And then release. And we're going to turn over onto the other side. So organize yourself comfortably on your right side. And we'll start with the legs out straight, the feet slightly forward of the hips. And take a moment with your hand on your waist to feel the effect of the engagement of the obliques. Relax for a moment and then picture your star while you inhale. And then shrink the star. Start to feel some tone coming. And then relax it. Feel the belly slack, dropping into gravity. Picture the internal organs going down. Exhale and picture your organs lifting towards the ceiling, finding more engagement in the waist. And then add a whole shrinking of the star. If you need your fingertips down on the mat, you can put them down. You're going to lift both legs up and just feel that work in the waist. So hands can stay on the waist, or go to the floor, or go to the ceiling. Up and down 10 times with the bottom leg. Then meet at the center and point your toes, go forward and back, and then flex and go forward and back. And fingertips can come down onto the mat. If you feel like you're rocking around, bring the fingertips to the mat. Be still and use that support rather than flop. 2 more sets. Point forward and back, and flex forward and back. Last one. We come into the center, bottom leg can go down if you like, and we're going to circle that top leg 10 times in each direction. And the other. Both legs down and rest for a moment. We're going to bring the hand down to feel the left hip point and press into it a little bit. And then re-engage the core, lift the organs, externally rotate the left leg, turn it out in the socket so your knee is turning towards the ceiling. Make sure your hip didn't go back. Push into your hand and roll forward with the pelvis, but roll back with the leg. Point the toes and lift the leg up and flex and come down. Stay in external rotation the whole time. Point up, flex down. Keep pushing your hip forward and rolling your leg back. 2 more times. Point up, flex down, point up, flex down, and then take a little break. Reset, make sure that you haven't rolled back. Re-engage the core, lifting the organs. Raise your top leg up, point the toes, and then internally rotate. Roll the knee towards the ceiling, move the leg back just a little bit, and dip down 1 or 2 inches towards the floor 10 times. Keep feeling the length in the front ankle, front thigh. And then we're going to take the legs down for a moment. Re-engage your star, lift your organs, lift both legs up and flex the feet back, squeeze the toes, point the feet, fan the toes and flex back, squeeze, point, fan, and flex. Once more, squeeze, point, fan, flex, and then do the reverse. Reach with the toes open, squeeze with them, pull back with them, squeeze, open and reach, and squeeze and pull back. One last time. And then see if you can separate your big toe and your foretoes. And then lower down. Keeping your thighs where they are. Bend at the knees. So your knees and your head are in a nice straight line and as far away from each other as possible. Engage your low core, shrink your star and lift your organs, and then rotate the leg out in the socket 10 times. Keep pushing forward with your left hip. Relax that, and then we're going to go all the way to 90-degree hip flexion, bringing your knees and your feet to the front of your mat and releasing into gravity here. Soften your shoulders. Notice the position of your left hip. Keep it pushing forward as you gather the core and rotate the leg out in the socket 10 times. Keep that left hip forward. Push it into your fingers. You feel the work of the rotation deep in the buttock. After 10, we're going to pause and relax and then move to 45 degrees, halfway between those 2 positions. Relax in that position for a moment. This is constructive rest on your side. Soften your neck and face and shoulders. And then re-engage the star. Keep your pelvis steady and 10 more rotations. And then relax the legs. Place your left elbow on your left waist. And 10 times rotate the arm out in the socket. So you're going from level with the elbow, shoulder, and then up from there. And then we're going to pop up for the side plank. Right elbow direct under the right shoulder and the knees bent. We're at a 45-degree hip flexion here. So the exercise for you might just be practicing not sinking into the right shoulder. And then engage your star, press up, push the floor away well, and get as much space between your right shoulder and the floor. Then press down into that right knee, extend your left arm up towards the ceiling. Shrink your star, push down into your elbow and your knee and lift up. And again, this might be enough of a lift, or you might like just take that top leg straight, be in control, and exhale slowly the top arm down and slowly back up. Press into the floor with the knee and the elbow and keep that pressure. Even if you haven't raised your hips up, keep that push down. 2 more times. Then we're going to stay for a moment. Stretch the arm up, look up, reach from your toes to your crown, pushing your right elbow down and reaching up with your left fingertips. And then release. And we're going to come up into a seated position. So we start with the knees bent. And grab hold of your ball or your toilet paper roll or whatever you're holding. We're going to scoop the belly. We're not going to go all the way down, but easy in the shoulders. And draw the navel into the spine. Keep your feet down. And just go back onto your sacrum. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Pull your belly button into your spine. Now we're going to straighten one leg and then the other one out. Keep pulling the belly to the spine. And go all the way down to the floor. One vertebra at a time. And reach and stretch back. And if you don't have anything in your hands, it's fine. So big long stretch. And then let's re-engage, finding the pelvic floor, shrinking the star and tilting the pelvis. Press your lower back down towards the floor. Float your arms to vertical. And then roll yourself up, keeping your feet down. So if your feet comes up, it may help to take your hands on your outer thighs and roll up. Now bend your elbows, please, and then bend forward with your elbows bent. Now keep your elbows bent and then think of the top of your head going towards your feet. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Then sit up tall, put your arms out in front of you. Scoop the belly in towards the spine and slowly descend. And stretch back. When you stretch back, you're going to allow the spine to arch. Then we're going to flatten it down again. Press the lower back towards the floor as you engage all the core muscles. Float the arms up to vertical. You may want to hold your outer thighs. Inhale and come up. Nice and slow. Bend your elbows and bend forward with the elbows bent. Relax your neck. And keep your elbows bent and reach the top of the head towards your feet. Now sit up tall. Take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling so they're framing the ears. And then we're going to go back only as far as we can go with the arms framing the ears. Don't let your hands come forward. We're going to hover partway back. Maintain. Feet are on the floor. Legs parallel, please. And now we're going to start to go down. As you go down, you probably need to lever your arms forward to control the downward motion. Pull the navel into the spine. Try to keep your feet down. I didn't do that so beautifully that time. Reach back. And then relax there for a moment. Okay, we'll flip the arms to vertical. And then bend the knees. Let your arms come down to your sides. Find your constructive rest for a moment. And then we're going to bend the arms and do some hip extension. Bend your arms so your elbows are on your mat, your palms are facing each other. Since we're going to go into a pelvic lift, please don't have a pillow behind your head. Shrink your pelvic floor and abdominal star in place. Tilt the pelvis to flatten the back. Lift yourself up into a pelvic lift. And then stand on that left foot. Get your left hamstring ready. Lift the right foot and lower it down. Stabilize the pelvis and lift the left up and lower it down. And again, standing on the left, lift the right and lower. Standing on the right, lift the left and lower. Do that one more time on each leg. Now we're going to keep standing on the left and lift the right foot up and do pistons 5 times up and down with the right leg. And then lower that, stand on the left and lift the left for 5 pistons. And then roll yourself down. Relax into neutral. Let's take the right ankle to the left knee and pull the left thigh in towards the chest. I'm going to hang out here and go into a piriformis stretch, feeling the stretch in the deep in the right buttock. Notice if you're rolled over to the right side. If so, bring yourself more evenly at the back of the pelvis. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck and your face. And then we'll release the left foot to the floor and the right foot and take a moment. And then let's do the other side. Bring your left ankle up across the right knee and lift the right foot. Support the back of the right leg. Relax your shoulders, your face. Find the evenness at the back of the pelvis. Breathe into the stretch of the left buttock. And then release, right foot down, left foot down. Constructive rest for a moment. Bring the knees to the chest. Give your lower back a little stretch. And then we're going to come over onto the front for the low plank. So start in Sphinx position, propped up on your forearms, and then bring your hands together, interlace the fingers. Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Tuck that bottom pinky in. Engage the low core, tuck your tail, push your ribs in really well. Just really shrink that star. Tuck your toes, push into the floor, and then lift yourself up. So you're tucking your tail and pushing your navel into the spine, pushing the floor away with your elbows, feeling long from your crown to the heels, the bottoms of the feet. Keep tucking the toes, push the floor away, belly to spine, reaching long. And breathe. 5 more seconds. Keep pushing the floor away and pulling the navel up to the spine. Now stay in control in the core as you bend your knees. And then relax as you go into child's pose. And then we're going to rise up onto hands and knees. Engage the pelvic floor and shrink the star. Tuck your toes under. And push to a downward facing dog, inverted feet position, raising the hips towards the ceiling, pushing the floor away with your hands and lifting towards the ceiling with your sit bones. Keep pushing the floor away with your hands one leg at a time. You're going to bend the knee and then straighten it and feel the length coming into the back of your ankles. Keep pushing the floor away with your hands, so nice big open stretch of the back. And then return to the down dog with both heels reaching towards the floor, hands pushing away from the floor. And walk your hands in towards your feet until you're hanging down in a forward bend. Relax the shoulders. Re-engage the pelvic floor. Tuck your tail under. And then start to drag your fingertips up your legs. So you're standing all the way up tall. Reach long through the crown of the head. Feel the 3 points of your feet. Ball of big toe, ball of little toe, middle of the heel. Root down through the feet, lift up through the crown. Shrink your star, and at the top of the arm, roll your arm out in the socket to open the chest, but keep shrinking your star. Then relax the effort in the arms. And soften the effort in the core. Okay, that'll do it. Thank you. So if you were here, you can leave me a comment or just like the video, and I will take attendance. Have a safe day, kind of iffy, but enjoy. And again, remember I won't be here next weekend at Conklin Hall. So see you in person at Conklin Hall in 2 weeks. Take care, everybody. Thanks.